everyone, John here from JPWHU TV. It's nice to meet you all. I'm very honoured to be able to get this answer over to yourselves about the question, who is the first choice left back, Aaron Cresswell or Arthur Masuaku? For me, it's not that easy. I really wish it was, but it's not that easy. For three reasons. One, let's not forget Ben Johnson. Granted, he had one very, very good game against Man City in the league last season and didn't do anything since, other than obviously playing the pre-season games. He's a very, very highly rated junior. He can play at left back or right back, so that's very, very good. He's hopefully one for the future. But in terms of Cresswell and Masuaku, neither are the first choice, unless the following scenarios come up. If we need to be playing a team like City, like Liverpool, like Man United used to be, Chelsea, Arsenal, etc., where we have to be on our defensive game 100% throughout the entire game, then for me, it's Aaron Cresswell. I've said on my channel, JPWHU TV, a couple of times over the last few seasons, well, a few times over the last few seasons, now that Masuaku is a fantastic player, but Cresswell is more defensive-minded than he is. There's no... Granted, Masuaku makes more challenges than Cresswell, but Cresswell's defensive brain is more acute than Arthur's. And no disrespect to Arthur Masuaku, I love the guy. His brain is getting more and more defensive-minded with every single game that he's playing. I love him for that. But if we have to be 100% defensive resilience, it's Cresswell for me. Really, really is. If we're playing a team that their defence is a little bit wonky, and we can get away with conceding a goal or two, then for me it's Masuaku. It really is Masuaku, because he's much more attacker-minded than Cresswell. Again, don't get me wrong, Cresswell's very attack-minded, makes some very good balls into the box, but so does Masuaku. Masuaku and Anderson's build-up play together is a lot better than Anderson and Cresswell, because obviously they've had more time to play with each other. Read into that what you will, but you know, for me, it's just, that's how it goes. It's all dependent on the team sheet that we're playing against. That's all it is for me. If I had to be brutally honest and make one decision, it would be Cresswell for all league and cup games. But we need that little bit of overlap. We need that slight style of play every now and again. Hope you found this enjoyable. Thanks for your time.
Hi, this is Adam from the West Ham is Why We Drink podcast. This is a really tough question. I think I've probably changed my mind 3 times just this season. But I've been thinking about who the better left back would be for the team. I think they both bring different attributes to the team. Cresswell is a better defender, but he also has the set pieces, which, you know, he scored the other week. We don't have many players in our starting lineup that are good at set pieces. Whereas Masuaku's strength is obviously going forwards. He can beat a man way better than Cresswell can. But that does leave us a little short at the back. As the question is who would be the better starting left back, I'm going to go with Aaron Cresswell. I think that it just adds more balance to the team. Now, I'm not saying that I won't change my mind next week, because I very well might. But at this moment in time, I think that for what we need in the team, Cresswell is our better option.
Okay, so this is the answer, or my answer, to the question, who would you rather have at left back, Masuaku or Cresswell? And this is a really hard question for me to answer, because I've kind of got 2 sides to this answer. First of all, for me, if you're looking for a more attacking fullback, you go for Masuaku, because he's not a great defender. He has lapses in concentration, tends to go, a bit into no man's land, and quite often not a very good man marker either. But going forward, I think he's got really quick feet, very skillful, and he's never been tackled as far as I can remember going forward. Cresswell, on the other hand, is the better defender. He makes more tackles than Masuaku does, but he doesn't get forward as much as Masuaku does. And the last decent cross he ever put in was Felanzini in about 2016, I think it was. I mean, saying that, Masuaku hasn't put in, brilliant crosses himself, but he still looks more dangerous when he gets into the final third. I think if you're going to go defensively, you go with Cresswell. If you go more attacking, you're going to go with Masuaku. But it's really hard, but I've got to decide someone. And for me, it's got to be Masuaku because he's slightly improving with his defending. And you can rely on him a bit more going forward and up front. Nothing against Cresswell. They're not both. Neither of them are, particularly poor or particularly brilliant. But if you're asking me who I'd pick, it has to be Masuaku. But hopefully we get a new left back in. Don't have this argument anymore. So Masuaku for me.
So this week's question is about who should be the first choice left back at the club right now. And in my opinion, it should be Masuaku, and it always will be Masuaku unless someone better comes in, which looks unlikely with the recent contract extension for Cresswell. And as much as I enjoyed Cresswell's recent performances with the very important goals against Bournemouth and Manchester United, I just think that we're doing ourselves a big disservice by not starting Masuaku, which was proven by the game against Palace, where Cresswell hasn't completed a single cross, hasn't completed a single key pass, and didn't create a single chance where Fredericks on the other side got an assist, created I believe 4 key passes, and completed about I think 3 or 4 crosses, and was playing just very high up the pitch, constantly looking to drag Palace's defense wide, which later allowed us to create chances. And I believe with Masuaku in the side instead of Cresswell, we would have won the game. For me, Masuaku is just overall a better player than Cresswell, so he should be starting against Everton for me.
The question is, who should be the first choice left back, Cresswell or Masuaku? Personally, it's Cresswell all day long. Reason being, Masuaku don't defend. It ain't in his nature. He's great going forward, no defence. He's paid to be a defender. Too many goals last season came through him. He made mistakes, right? And he's still doing it this season. He's not tracking back. I have never played football at their level, but I was a defender, right? And you go forward, fair enough. But like when you lose the ball, you run back to your position. That's where your position is. You run back and you defend, right? You don't do that. So for me, number one, public enemy number one to me. I don't like him. I'd sell him and get someone else, personally. But that's my opinion. All right, take it easy. Let's hope we have a better result this weekend. All right, take it easy. Up the hammers. Come on, you all right?
Who should be our first choice left back? I think it's a difficult situation. I think it's a difficult decision, and I don't think really even Pellegrini knows. They've both signed new contracts this year. They both got good points. They both got bad points. Cresswell, I think technically, in both directions, is probably a better fullback. But he's not as far. He's not as quick. We saw that in the first game of the season against Man City. Kyle Walker absolutely destroyed him. You had Sterling. It's difficult. Masuaku's got the pace, but his awareness isn't as good. I think we're starting to see some of the form come back into Cresswell's attacking ability. He's starting to look a bit better, more comfortable. But at any one point, you could put either one in and they probably do as good a job as each other. I still think when we go to next summer, that needs to be a position to look at. I think we've got to adequately average left-backs. I think one of them will stay. I'd probably say Cresswell will stay and Masuaku gets sold. So maybe under that basis it's Cresswell, but I don't think either of them are actually that good. I think they're both much of a muchness. And it's a game by game basis. Most teams aren't amazingly quick, so you can probably afford to play someone like Cresswell. But against the teams that have got lightning quick attacks, you have to play Masuaku because Cresswell just can't handle the pace going past him anymore.
Well, Aaron Cresswell has signed a new contract to keep him at the club until 2023, almost matching up with Masuaku's new deal until 2024. As for who's going to be the starting left back, it's going to be whoever has got the hottest hand right now. We know in the future, the right back side is going to be played by Ryan Fredericks and Ben Johnson coming up through the academy. And although he can play the left side, Johnson is a natural right-sided right back. So you might as well just see who's in form at the moment. Right now, Masuaku's attacking mentality could bring a little bit of a spark to a stagnant West Ham offense at the moment, but Cresswell does provide free kicks and as well has linked up okay with Felipe Anderson and looks a little bit more strong defensively. As of right now, West Ham are still going okay. They're coming off the Crystal Palace loss, so there's a little bit of discrepancy with their performances most recently. Maybe it's time to put Masuaku back in. For me, I would keep Cresswell for now, but going forward, whoever's the hottest player, whoever's in form, that's who your starting left back is.
Hello everyone, Kevin Stowe here at Sex, Drugs and Carlton Cole, and this week's question by Hammers Polls is, who do you think should be our first choice left back? Arthur Masuaku or Aaron Cresswell? It's a very good question this week. I think Arthur has improved massively under Pellegrini since he's been our manager. I've become quite a big fan of Arthur Masuaku actually since he's been under Pellegrini. But then again, Aaron Cresswell, we know what we're getting with him. He lost his way a little bit when he got injured in 2016 pre-season. We haven't seen the best of him in the past couple of years. But since Arthur's been banned, he really has stepped up to the plate. He scored two goals in 2 games. And he really is doing his job. He's, as I say, it's another player that has really grasped his opportunity and grabbed the ball by the horns and taking it with both hands. So at the moment, I'm going to say Aaron Cresswell. I'm going to say let him keep his place. He's bang on form at the moment. He's scored 2 goals in his first 2 games for us this season. And he really is doing his job. So I'd say keep Cresswell in at the moment. I'm very happy about his 2-year deal as well. And, he wants to play for us as well. He wants to stay at West Ham. So, those days are very rare. For us to see where a player wants to stay at West Ham. So, the best way to reward him is to give him a 2-year extension. So, very happy about that. And my answer to the question will be to keep Aaron Cresswell in. Come on, you Irons.